Welcome today to the Healing Our Sight podcast. I'm so excited to have a special guest today. This is my daughter, Abigail. Well, we just call her Abby. Abby Aaron. She is a married woman now with a little baby. And those of you who followed me have heard my little explanation of what happened that summer when my three daughters got married in the space of 4 months. And she was one of those sweet daughters to do that. We're going to talk today about her vision therapy experience. I did mention in a previous episode that she did vision therapy as a 10-year-old. She was actually 9.5 when she started. And she's going to share a little bit about what that was like for her. So, hello, Abby.
Hi.
Thanks for coming on my podcast today.
Yeah, of course.
We're going to catch people up on how your vision was when you were really small, first off. I remember taking you to the doctor when you were about 3, and your eyes were crossing a little bit. I was a little concerned. I thought, oh, no, she's just like me. And do you remember that at all? Probably not.
No, I don't.
Okay. So I took you in and the doctor said, okay, well, we'll just put her in glasses. And this is what they did for me when I was that age. And I thought, well, that's about the way it's going to go. Right. So you had glasses from then on, right?
Yeah, as long as I can remember.
Yeah. Same here. Would you say that you had any trouble in school?
I remember not really being able to see the board very well. Like even if I was in the front of the class, not everything was clear. And I don't know. Other than that, not really. I mean, I got good grades most of the time, and I don't know. I would say the most trouble I had was reading. Like I was good at math and I was really good at spelling, which was weird because if I had trouble reading, then why would I be good at spelling, you know? That doesn't
Right.
make any sense.
Well, it's interesting because I didn't know you had any problems at all until I picked up this book called When Your Child Struggles. Do you remember that conversation that we had when I figured out that I needed to take you in?
Yeah, I remember you asked me if I closed one of my eyes when I was reading, and I never thought about that before. I'm like, actually I do. Yeah, now that you bring that up, I do. Like I'm usually laying down when I read, like in bed and stuff, so I would, switch sides with whatever page I was looking at. Like if it was the right side of the book, I would be laying on my left side and I would have my left eye against the pillowcase and
Right.
then switch. When I would flip the page, I would switch.
You turn over.
And yeah, I would turn over and that's not good for my eyes working together.
Exactly. Well, and
It was
that
making
I had no idea that you did that when you were reading and that you were mostly reading in bed either. And so it was because I asked the questions in this book. This is When Your Child Struggles by Dr. David Cook. And it's in the section where it says 7 signs of deficient eye teaming ability. And I am not even sure why I decided to test this on you, other than I was curious about how I could help children in school when I was substituting, right? And so I thought, I'll practice on my child, right? And so I said, I just went down the checklist. Do you cover one eye when reading was the first one. And then there was, your child tends to rest his head on the palm of one hand when reading, and the hand just happens to cover one eye. You didn't do that.
No, how do you do that?
Um,
Like this?
yeah.
I feel like that's not natural at all.
It's not, but I would notice that probably.
Yeah.
Your child holds the book to one side or turns his head to one side when reading so that both eyes cannot see the print at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I did. I was like this. Like with
When you
the
were reading in bed, yeah,
yeah.
you'd have the turning to one side or the other thing going. Your child adds or removes parts from words when reading.
I don't remember.
I don't think you did that.
I don't think I did.
Yeah. When copying materials from the chalkboard, your child repeats letters within words. Was copying
Um,
ever hard?
I don't think so.
Okay. When performing math problems, your child fails to align the columns of numbers correctly because the numbers are seen to run together.
I was good at math for as long as I can remember.
Yeah. And then it says your child demonstrates any of the signs given on pages 68 to 69. So another chapter of the book gives some other things. And then I remember doing this other part on the next page where it says ask your child if they ever have double vision by demonstrating with your hands, where you put your hands together and then you say, do the words ever do this? When you pull them apart a little bit so that you're seeing a little bit of double. Do you remember me asking you that too?
Yeah,
And what did you tell me?
I don't remember. I think probably sometimes.
I think
And
you did. I think that's why I was concerned. I was like, oh, if you're getting a little bit of double vision sometimes, we need to address that right now.
yeah, I think that's what happened.
Yeah. And so the signs were very small, really, for you as far as me taking you in. I feel like a lot of people would overlook it maybe, or I mean, I did overlook it for
Like dismiss
years.
it.
Yeah. Or think, oh, it's not a bad enough problem to do anything about, right?
Yeah,
Because I mean, the book was designed for people whose children really were struggling. And I was seeing that in the school system with the children in the classrooms I was substituting in. And that's where my biggest concern was lying at that point in time. So I took you in, and Dr. Davies and his staff tested you, and they determined that you were basically a mini me. Do you remember him saying that? I
yeah,
was like, oh, great. If I don't do anything now, she's going to have problems way later in life. Right. I mean,
yeah,
they might not be huge problems until down the line. How long? I mean, who knows, right?
yeah,
And so I was really glad that we caught it at that point. I would say you were probably a master of accommodation, right? Because you were
yeah,
accommodating for the fact that your eyes really were not working together.
yeah. I mean, based on school, like based on my report card anyway, you wouldn't have ever guessed. Because like all throughout, I mean, I had a little trouble in middle school, but then I mean, elementary school and then middle school and high school, it wasn't bad. And I mean, that was after vision therapy, of course, but
Right.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So you started vision therapy in January of 2012 when you were 9.5. And we basically did it all year long, every week, once a week until December. Can you tell us a little bit about how that was for you?
It was a love-hate relationship with going to vision therapy because I mean, I got to leave school early sometimes, but I sometimes didn't want to go because it was hard. Like I liked a lot of the exercises we did. Like there was like some video game type, when I just put 3D glasses on and have a Xbox controller and like have to line up certain things. And I liked those, but there were some activities that they were hard and I didn't want to do them because they like I couldn't do them very well.
Right.
And it hurt. Like it didn't hurt, but it was like I just couldn't like make it happen.
It was a
It was
strain.
frustrating. Yeah, it was frustrating.
Yeah. Did it get easier as you went?
Yeah, I remember going back to certain games and being able to do them a lot better as the months went on. I was like, I remember that was a lot harder last time and now I can do this and like that one like I don't remember what it's called. The like thing where you flip the cards over and it's like a telescope thingy looking thing. Yes, that thing.
I have one. Yeah, the
Yeah.
aperture rule.
Yeah, the aperture rule. I remember that was one of the ones I didn't like because I would just stare at it for so long and so long. Like I just couldn't make them move in the right spot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember keeping on going one day I was just keeping on flipping them over and I could get a lot further than I did last time. And I was like, whoa, that was cool. I felt really good about myself.
You could see the progress at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And then at the end of the year, they determined that your vision was where we expected it to be, right? And we stopped vision therapy for a while. Do you remember them saying anything to you about, oh, you should probably continue to do some things at home?
Yeah. I was never good at doing homework though. Like that vision therapy homework, I never really did it. I was sometimes you would make me, but it was just so easy to forget.
It was. I think I was a really bad vision therapy mom
Oh my gosh.
because I was more concerned about doing my own, and I would try to get you to do it with me, and you're like, whatever, mom. And I didn't, it probably would have been way quicker for you if we had been really good about you doing your home therapy.
Yeah. And it probably would have stuck for longer too. I mean, the more I did it, if I kept doing home vision therapy, then I wouldn't have gotten worse again.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I was going to bring that up. In 2015, when you were 13.
12
Yeah.
and a half or 13.
Yeah. You were 13 already because it was mid-year when we went back and had an evaluation. And they said, you've regressed. We need to do some more therapy.
Yeah, I
Right.
remember that. I was really sad. I was like, I got worse. Dang
Did
it.
you, and couldn't you tell you were getting worse?
Yeah, I kind of suspected it because I'm like, stuff was not, my eyes weren't working together as well, and I could tell.
Yeah. So it was about mid-year, June of 2015, we went back and they said, okay, we should do a few more sessions. And we did 16 more sessions. I figure we did 40 sessions when you were 9.5 and about 16 sessions the last part of 2015 when you were 13 from June until November. And then you kind of had a second graduation, but not really, right? They weren't really doing a graduation ceremony for you or anything, but it's like, okay, you're good now, right? And do you remember what we did after that to kind of keep things in line?
Not exactly. What are you thinking of?
Well, this was our outing. I thought you had just come up with this.
Oh, 3D movies. Yes, that was awesome.
Yeah.
How often would we do that? Like once a month or something?
As often as there was a really good one at the Dollar Theater that we wanted to see.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good. I did forget about that, but yeah,
Yeah, that was my treat to the two of us to have us both do
vision
vision
therapy.
therapy at the movies,
Yeah,
right? So we'd go to the Dollar Theater because it was way cheaper for a 3D movie there.
yeah.
And what was it, like $3 instead of $1.50 or something,
Um,
3.25. So we'd go to the dollar movie and watch a 3D movie. And then it seemed like on the way home, I don't know about you, but I would have heightened 3D
I
just in
remember
general
I
life.
remember you're like, oh, wow, I can see that. And you can just tell when you're driving, you're like, oh, this is, yeah, you just see a lot better in 3D after.
Mhm. And it was probably right before it was before and after my surgery that we were doing this, right? So I had not as good of 3D during part of that time frame. And then afterwards I was like, oh yeah, now I really can see in 3D.
Yeah, I
You know?
remember how excited you were after the surgery, like watching the 3D movies after you had the surgery. There was a huge difference for you.
Yeah. And it was always good for you, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I could always, at least a little bit, I could always see, I could always tell what was popping out and what was supposed to be, in
Mm-hmm.
3D. So, yeah.
Yeah. So you're like, okay, whatever, mom. Yeah, we can go to the
Yeah,
movies.
basically. Yeah.
See, I was being tricky about it because I wanted you to have a little bit of vision therapy that you didn't have to work very hard for.
Yeah.
And it kind of worked, right? Did you have any moment that stuck out when you said, "Oh, now I really see in 3D," and you hadn't before?
Um, I don't remember. I mean, I don't remember really having that much trouble seeing in 3D movies. I could always see in 3D, but like depth perception wise, I've it's kind of been a struggle. Like in the dark, especially when it's like right when the sun's going down, like that kind of lighting, I can't see, like my depth perception is really bad, and it still is.
Mhm.
I don't remember a certain moment when I was like, wow, I can see, I can tell how close this is so much better now because like I I don't really remember that happening, but
Hmm.
yeah.
Were there any things that became easier to do after vision therapy?
Um, I think my reading got a lot better. Like I could read a lot faster out loud in class whenever we had to read out loud or something. Comprehension. A lot of times I would just struggle so hard with like getting the words out that I wouldn't really think about what they meant. And so I remember comprehension was tough for me in elementary school.
Okay. Well, those are kind of big things that became,
Yeah, they're kind of very important
I think
in
so.
life.
Yeah. Did you relate your vision therapy journey to my vision therapy at all over the course of time?
Um, I don't know. I Not really. I guess I didn't think about it too much.
You were a kid, right? So it's like my
Yeah, I
mom's
didn't
making
think.
me do this thing and I don't want
Oh,
to do
not
it.
not exactly. I didn't That wasn't my mindset. I just didn't really think about the similarities between our journeys. Like I knew that you had glasses forever and, that our eyes had that we had the same issue with our eyes, but yeah.
You never said, "Oh, I'm so glad I'm not going to be like my mom."
Guilty. Not in a bad way though. I was grateful.
No,
I was so
that's why I'm
grateful.
asking though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
No, that's
think
true.
that's
I
nice
did.
that you're like, "Oh, good. I don't have to go through years and years and years of
Yeah,
not being able
I
to see in
did.
3D."
I did think that a few times. I was like, I'm really glad that I don't have to struggle from it so many years.
Yeah. What do you think your favorite thing is about this whole process?
Um, just knowing more about ways to help. I mean, because you've helped other people's kids by like mentioning vision therapy to them. Like Katie's mom
Hmm.
did suggest that. It's just nice to know that there's more resources for people that have vision problems than just surgery. My pediatrician for Zion asked if I had noticed any crossing in his eyes, and luckily I haven't, since obviously he was born because that's how babies are born. But if there ever is a case where I see them cross or I suspect some problems, then I can just take him to the eye doctor and get it figured out. So it's really cool that I have that knowledge.
Yeah, I like that. You have anything else you want to share with us today?
I remember getting contacts for the first time. That was pretty cool because like I was there when Darcy got contacts for the first time too, and like her whole drive back home was like, wow, the leaves, I can see all the details of the earth, like it's so beautiful. And it was kind of the same for me. Like it was so clear. I don't know why it was so much more clear than glasses. Like it's clear and it's just like your whole eye. So you can see there's not a frame. You can't like there's not a part of your vision that's blurry still.
Hmm.
So it's just really cool. Like this is what people see that don't have vision problems. What? Like Dawson,
So
my husband, like he has really good vision and he doesn't need glasses or contacts and he can just that's how he sees. What?
so you're talking about the fact that the periphery was also clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool that you brought that up. I think it's interesting that uh, you didn't really notice that much of a difference.
Yeah. I mean, I was a kid, so I don't really remember like a lot because like I mean I was obviously coherent at that age, I was like I knew what the world was like, I knew what was going on around me, but I don't have a very clear memory of elementary school, you know? So that's where it's like I don't really remember a lot of what happened, honestly.
Okay.
But I know it was good. It helped.
Yeah. So it was probably a gradual enough process that it
Yeah, it wasn't
didn't
like
have those,
overnight.
yeah,
Yeah,
you didn't have those aha moments because, well, number one, maybe because you weren't working as hard at it.
yeah,
Or just because it was so gradual, it didn't provide you with any of those things that were like, oh, wow, I see this way differently than I did before,
yeah.
which makes it harder to appreciate it as well, unfortunately. Right.
Yeah.
And how do you feel your vision is now?
I think it's getting worse again. Not good, but I mean, and there was a time like last year that I would try to not wear my glasses as much, like if I because I was just staying at home, Um, I like whenever I didn't need to leave the house, I wouldn't wear my glasses. And I did notice that once I started wearing them more, like when I did wear them, to drive or whatever, it seemed stronger. The prescription seemed stronger, which would mean that my eyes they got stronger. Wouldn't that mean?
It
Uh,
probably, you're talking about visual acuity again, right? So it
uh,
probably means more that your eyes got better.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
like my eyes got better and
Oh,
they didn't need to rely on that strong of a prescription anymore.
right. Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of what I observed.
So you're not talking about observing anything with your binocular vision changing.
Like them working together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there haven't been many times, but there's been a few times where I have noticed that I kind of go cross-eyed a little bit, and then I have to like switch, like fix my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But so I guess there are some problems with that, but it's not anything serious. So I could definitely benefit from going back to the eye doctor or whatever, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that the recommendation that they made when you finished that second set of vision therapy sessions, that you do a little home therapy all the time, is
Mhm.
probably something that we could come back around to, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking you should get that VR unit and get Mark Boyce's program Equalize, play some of those games for fun. Your husband could play them too, whatever, right? and keep your 3D vision strong, right? Yeah, I think that that's something that doesn't always get talked about either. You know, people say, "Oh, I graduated from vision therapy," but we don't always emphasize the fact that it's not our normal way of doing things, and
Yeah.
so we have to keep reminding our eyes and our brain that this is the way they're supposed to do things, right? This is the way the eyes were meant to work, and we didn't learn that when we were small, so we might have to work at it a little bit
Mhm.
for the rest of our lives, maybe. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's not a bad thing to bring out in this episode, actually, that we can continue to do more. And we can do the natural vision improvement thing too. I mean, I
Yeah.
did talk about that in one of my episodes when I spoke with Nathan Oxenfeld about the natural vision improvement. That's kind of what you were experiencing when you stopped wearing your glasses as much, is the
Yeah.
some natural vision improvement, which doing more of those types of exercises or practices, not really exercises because it's not really supposed to be work, but the practices of healthy vision help our eyes to get better as far as acuity, as well as working together, honestly, because we're relaxing into the way the eyes should work. That makes sense.
Yeah. So would it help to just like wear my glasses a lot less and then like get a new prescription
Mhm.
and get new glasses?
Yeah,
Because I
absolutely.
mean that's what you did, isn't it? That's why
I did.
you don't have -6 anymore. It's like what, -4?
4.25.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I need to do more of that because I really do want to get down to 0.
Yeah.
Awesome. It has to be made a habit as part of your daily experience, the way that you use your eyes. And I'm the first person to say it's hard to change old habits, right? And it takes repeated effort, constant effort to do that. And not everyone's willing to do it. Clearly, I'm not, or I would be seeing more clearly. You see what I did there?
You're funny.
Okay. Do you have any last bits of advice for children who are going through vision therapy?
Um, I'd say it can be frustrating, but it's definitely going to be worth it. Like these few months or years of struggle, a little bit of struggle can make a huge difference. And literally the way you see everything can change your entire life.
Yeah,
Like a lot.
for sure. Any advice for parents?
Don't give up. If your child is not, wanting to do it, if they say they don't want to go to vision therapy or they don't want to do their homework, do your best to patiently encourage them to. I mean, obviously that's easier said than done, but
Yeah,
it's definitely something that you'd want to encourage them to do.
yeah, I agree. I wish I had been a better vision therapy mother, but we did get through it. And I'm glad.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we could talk today so that I can encourage you to do a little more of it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, thanks. Thank you for listening to this episode of Healing Our Sight. If you liked this episode, please subscribe, add a review, and share it on your favorite social media. You can also ask questions or suggest a guest by visiting my Facebook page, Healing Our Sight, and more information is found on my website, healingmysight.com. Thanks again for listening.